What's going on, YouTube? Today I bring you my 2022 Pro Bowl selections for this season with a twist. So you're going to see a lot of people, just going out there and saying, "Oh, what's the six best quarterbacks this season?" and picking those guys, right? But here's the thing: is you look at the Pro Bowl, and I mean, yeah, you can pick six quarterbacks, but like, let's say we just went with these top six guys right here. Well, that works out fine, right? Because we got three AFC guys and three NFC guys. But let's say, for example, right, somebody puts in Dak Prescott over Derek Carr. Well, now you have four NFC quarterbacks, and it's only three of each conference. So the twist for today is that I'm picking my top three quarterbacks from each conference, top three running backs, etc. And we're going to do that for the entire video for my Pro Bowl selections this year. So starting off with quarterback, I think Tom Brady pretty clearly has to be in this year. He's in the MVP argument, probably the MVP selection for many right now. The dude's been incredible. He has to be in. My second NFC guy is, and I haven't, thought about these at all. I haven't thought about these going in. Of course, I know who's been great and who's not been so great, but NFC. I think Aaron Rodgers also has to be in. He's not played in one game this year, so he's been there and he's been good. He's been good when he's played. Still elite in that ratio. The yards, it's what they rank him by, but he's been incredible this year. So Aaron Rodgers is going to be my second NFC quarterback. And my third NFC quarterback, it's pretty tough. It really does come down to Matt Stafford or Dak Prescott for me. There's been some other great quarterbacks, yes, but it really does come down to those two. And Dak Prescott has been excellent this year. I mean, he's led a very good Cowboys offense to many great things. Dak Prescott also in that MVP conversation. But with the Rams, I think Matt Stafford, he took them to another level. And obviously Matt Stafford is much better than Jared Goff, right? But at the same time, I truly do believe that Matthew Stafford would have had the potential to be a top 10 quarterback of all time. And truly, the crazy thing is, I think he still does have that potential to end his career as a top 10 all time. But even with, having only an 8-year career, I think the dude's going to be incredible for the rest of his career in Los Angeles. Detroit, he did amazing things for them. He's probably forever going to be one of the best Detroit players ever. Really, I think his career was down by the Lions. And this year, with actual weapons and actual offense, he is really showing that he is a great quarterback. So he's going to be my final NFC selection. On the AFC side of things, if you look at them, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Derek Carr here at the top, I don't know if Patrick Mahomes has been so good or so bad that he's not deserving of a Pro Bowl vote. He's still one of the best in the game. He's still elite, right? I mean, he's had definitely an off season, but it's still not a bad season by any means. Justin Herbert's been fantastic this season. Same with Derek Carr. Not quite as much as these guys, but has still been really solid. Josh Allen, he's been struggling a bit, but he's still been really good. Joe Burrow having a fantastic second year as well. If you're looking down here, Lamar Jackson, he's been incredible when he's been on the field for the Ravens this year. Now he's hurt, so hopefully it's not for too long. But Lamar Jackson, when he's been entirely dependent for that team, and he has definitely performed. Like, yeah, the stats may not be great, but Lamar Jackson has been incredible this year. Mac Jones as well definitely deserves a shout out. He has been great. I don't think he's just been like as transcendent as other guys. Kyler Murray, by the way, Russell Wilson, great. Russell Wilson's not been fantastic recently, but Kyler Murray, great. Just hasn't played enough this year for me. And we'll go through a lot of these guys. But as for the AFC, like I said, regardless of the stats, Lamar Jackson has been on another level this year. The dude has been great. In my opinion, probably the dark horse MVP. He truly has been that good, and he can pass now. He really can. He is a great quarterback. Looking at the rest of the options, Josh Allen, he's been good. I just don't think he's been quite on the same level as some of the other guys. Joe Burrow also been good. It's just, for me, I think it does have to go to Mahomes and Herbert for these last two. They've both been great in a very competitive division this year, and both have delivered in some key moments. Yeah, Mahomes, he's been a little, again, off this season, but still been fantastic, and so those are going to be my quarterbacks. So moving on to the next position, we have running back. And Jonathan Taylor's an easy shoehorn in here. He's been amazing this year. He's probably the offensive player of the year. Like, I get Cooper Kupp's been great, right? But Jonathan Taylor, he's legitimately in the MVP conversation because those Colts would not be 7-6 without him right now. Now, they didn't play this week, did they? Or am I just having a complete brain fart? Um, yeah, they didn't play this week, but next week against the Colts, really get a chance to show that they're legit. And if Jonathan Taylor can play well against the Patriots, top 3 defense, that dude's legit and easily deserves the Offensive Player of the Year, in my opinion. So he's easily a shoehorn in. Joe Mixon, also another one of those guys that it's a pretty easy selection for me. He's been fantastic this year, even with a still bad offensive line. Now that he's finally been able to stay healthy, he has been great, and he's just been great. Period. He's been amazing for the Bengals. And as for my last AFC selection, obviously Nick Chubb has been great this year. Najee Harris has been great here in his rookie year. Javonte Williams doing a fantastic job as the backup there in Denver. Leonard Fournette, not an AFC back. We'll talk about him later. James Robinson's been great. Alvin Kamara's still been great. James Conner has 12 touchdowns on the year. I mean, there's a lot of good running backs here. There really is. It's going to be tough for, a position this deep and only having 6 votes. But for me, I think this final selection does have to go to Austin Eckler. He's just been amazing this year. It's been great on the ground, been great in the passing game. It's just been a fantastic weapon for Justin Herbert. So I think he does have to go in here as the last AFC back. When it comes to the NFC, I think it's a little bit more tough because I don't think these guys are as clear-cut as others because they've been on a similar level to a lot of each other. Dalvin Cook has been great this year, but has been underutilized a lot of times. Antonio Gibson having a really good year here. Zeke, he's kind of regained some of that old form of his. Leonard Fournette's actually been really crazy the last few weeks. Elijah Mitchell, as I think an undrafted free agent, has also been really good. You look at the rest of the list. I brought up Kamara already, but he's been great. Connor, been great. There's a lot of tough decisions here. You scroll down more. David Montgomery, if he hadn't missed time, probably would be a Pro Bowler. Tony Pollard's been great. The one guy I am confidently going to put in here is Cordero Patterson. And similar to Austin Eckler, he's just been so great on mainly the pass. He's been solid on the ground, but mainly the passing game. Kyle Pitts is so streaky. Ridley's been out for a while now. Cordell Patterson's been everything for that offense, so he's definitely in for me. Other than him, if you scroll down, I don't really see any other players that would make a strong argument for this as of right now from the NFC. So that's the end of the list right there. So we're looking for 2 more NFC backs, and I think Dalvin Cook's still been great this year, right? He's still near 1,000 yards. It might become the 3rd player to do it. So I think Dalvin Cook does have to go in. He's been pretty good. And for me, the last selection, I think it really comes down to Connor, Kamara, or Fournette for me. And Fournette, he's surrounded by a lot of good offensive talent. It's mainly been these last few weeks. He's been crazy. Kamara, when healthy, has been pretty good. But I got to go with James Conner. 12 touchdowns is pretty ridiculous. He's just been a touchdown machine, and at the end of the day, touchdowns is a valuable thing. Great on the ground as well. He's been a really good signing for the Cardinals, and I think he's been good enough to be a Pro Bowler. So those are going to be my running backs. Moving on to wide receiver. Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams. It's pretty easy. Those have by far been the top 3 receivers in football this year. Justin Jefferson in elite company in terms of his first 2 years here in the NFL. Devontae Adams has been fantastic for the Packers once again, and Cooper Kupp on a potentially record-setting pace. They've all 3 been great. Obviously that takes up the NFC receivers, and there's some good other NFC receivers, but those guys have by far and away not just been the best receivers in the NFC, but in the entire league. So those are pretty easy selections for me, leaving us with 3 AFC guys. I think Ja'Marr Chase does have to go in, as a rookie, 10 touchdowns, 1,000 yards already through week 14. Those are some really impressive stats. He's been great here in his rookie year. Not quite Offensive Player of the Year for me. I do think that goes to Mac Jones, but Ja'Marr Chase has been fantastic. Tyreek Hill obviously has to be in strong consideration here. And by the way, it does suck to leave Deebo Samuel out, but I just think these guys have been on an elite level. Deontay Johnson, been great for the Steelers this year. I think really besides Najee Harris, they're only besides Najee Harris and Pat Freiermuth, their only offensive contributor. Stephon Diggs has been great this year as well. Mike Williams has had a really nice year here before his contract. Michael Pittman's really shown out here in his 2nd or 3rd year. Hollywood Brown, been really good this year. Jalen Waddle had a fantastic rookie year. T. Higgins has had a really nice year. Again, there's a lot of solid guys here. There's a lot of good receivers in the NFL, obviously a very deep position. And it's weird, not having guys like DeAndre Hopkins in here, for example. But at the end of the day, when it comes to AFC receivers, just scrolling through the rest of this list so we don't miss anyone by chance, and I don't really think there's going to be anyone past this point, though, that deserves to be in over a few other guys. Yeah, so this is going to be the end right here. Looking at the three AFC receivers, we already got one with Ja'Marr Chase. Two, I feel, does still have to go to Tyreek Hill. He's still been great, still over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, still been great for the Chiefs. And leaving us with one AFC vote left for receiver, I'm really leaning to three guys. I think I'm really leaning to either Jalen Waddle, Marquise Brown, or Michael Pittman. Three great receivers. Waddle's come on a bit more the last week, whereas, Pittman been really solid all season. Brown was more at the beginning of the season. And so just because I think he's been a bit more consistent through the whole year, I am going to take Michael Pittman here, who's been great, an amazing offensive weapon for the Colts this year, outside of Jonathan Taylor, really their only true weapon on the passing game. So I am going to take Michael Pittman here. Moving on to fullback, it's a hard position to necessarily judge. There's 6 votes and 8 guys here. So basically, if you look at it, you're excluding 2 guys. And at the end of the day, there are a few sure hands in, right? Juszczyk's always going to be in. Picard, Johnson. I feel like those are the 3 guys that kind of has to be in. Michael Burton's been good this year. Andy Janovich has been solid for them. And I think I'm going to go CJ Ham here. So leaving out Kabinda, never heard of him, to be honest, and Keith Smith here. Pretty sure it's Keith Smith. I think those are going to be my selections for fullback. It's, I haven't even looked to see if it technically follows the rules. One, AFC, AFC. Okay, actually, twist here. We can't go 4 AFCs. So I'm gonna take Michael Burton out. I think he's probably the worst out of these 3 guys. Close competition with him and Janovich. Yeah, I'll keep Janovich, and then instead we're gonna give it to Smith. Lions just been a train wreck. I don't know if they deserve any Pro Bowlers. So those are gonna be my 6 selections for fullback. Moving on to tight end, and this is probably gonna be an interesting one. Again, there's a few selections that they got to be in here. Mark Andrews, has been elite this year, easily in for me. Travis Kelce, once again, one of the best tight ends in football, and George Kittle. Despite missing the amount of time he did, even in the last few weeks, he's been elite for the 49ers. So I feel like he's definitely got to be in there. So we've got 2 AFC, 1 NFC. Kyle Pitts has been really streaky this year, but at the end of the day, he's still playing at a very high level. So unless something changes, I'm going to make him my 2nd NFC tight end. Gronk is going to be my 3rd NFC. He's just been great this year for the Buccaneers. Again, just another guy that on another level for them this year. Once again, just scrolling down here to make sure we don't miss anyone. Looking through here, Hunter Henry, he's been great. I don't think he's quite been Pro Bowl great. Freiermuth just hasn't played enough for me, even though he's been great as well. Uzama has also been really solid. And now that you're 3 NFC guys, Hawkinson's been great. Not as good as these 3, though, in my opinion. Knox, he could be my 3rd AFC because Knox really was playing at a very, very high level. It's just missing that time, I think, it really does hurt you. But it's probably between Knox, Waller, and Gesicki here. You look at the 3, and I think these 2 are kind of just both above. But with Gesicki, he's just extremely streaky. And so while he's been hurt this year, Waller is still easily one of the best tight ends in the NFL. Still gets great production. Is really the only weapon in the passing game for Carr when he is healthy. So even though he struggled with a few things this year, in my opinion, the Walter Payton Man of the Year of this year, I'm going to take Darren Waller as my final tight end. Moving on to offensive tackle. Where's Trent Williams? Where's Trent Williams? Because he's like, where's Trent Williams? Come on. Where's he at? There's Trent Williams. This dude is maybe the best player in football. It's not even. You heard me. First thing I said when I got on here was, "Where's Trent Williams?" That dude's been amazing this year, just incredible. So there's one NFC tackle already, and this is gonna be tough. We got to really scroll through here because they're not listing them by a certain stat here. Teron Armstead has missed a bit of time. He's still been really good this year for the Saints. when he has played. Christian Darrisaw, again, when he has played, he's been great. He just hasn't played as much as maybe you'd like. Um, Taylor Lewan has been pretty solid at times this year. He's been really streaky. He's either been really good or really bad. Lane Johnson has been fine this year. Humphreys has been fine. Let's see. Jordan Mailata. Unless something changes, Mailata has been really good this year. And I think it's been good enough to deserve a Pro Bowl vote. He's been really good and really earning that contract that he got before earlier this season. Moton's been fine. And keep in mind, I'm just looking at NFC guys here. Ramchek's also been really good this year. He'll probably be my final NFC guy, unless, I'm already seeing, because Penei Sewell, I mean, yeah, he didn't look great in the preseason, started off a little slow this season, but since like week, 6 or 7, Penei Sewell has been amazing for the Lions. So honestly, he might have to earn my final NFC vote here. Looking at potentially other guys, I don't think there's anyone else that I would take over him right now. Tristan Wirfs, that's tough. Because 2 right tackles, 2 young right tackles. Tristan Wirfs has still been great this season, but I just think Penei Sewell has been fantastic these last, 4 or 5 weeks, especially. So I'm going to take Sewell as my last NFC tackle. Moving on to AFC tackles, on the other hand, Garrett Bowles does not deserve a Pro Bowl vote. He's not been that good this year. Please do not give him your vote. Same with Orlando Brown, just not been that good. AFC guys. Let's see. And also, I know there's a couple times where I bring up like AFC guys when we're doing NFC. Just ignore that, Let's see. AFC tackles. Colton Miller, probably besides Jordan Mailata and besides Jordan Mailata and Trent Williams, been the best left tackle in football this year. Very good in pass protection. So Colton Miller definitely deserves a vote, in my opinion. Michael Onwenu. They're listing him as a tackle here. He really has played, I think, more of a guard role this year for the Patriots. But Michael Onwenu has been great, picking up last season where he left off. In my opinion, he's a Pro Bowler, unless something does change on the rest of this list. And I'm going to have to take a look at the rest of the list, but Rashawn Slater also been just fantastic as a rookie. Me personally, I would still take Penei Sewell over him. I still do think he has a higher upside long-term. But Rashawn Slater has been fantastic in his own right this season. Looking at anyone else here from the AFC, Jedrick Wills, that is tempting because he's also been really solid this season. Jonah Williams has really taken a nice step forward. But I don't know if they're quite over Slater and Onwenu. So those are going to be my final tackle projections. Sewell, Slater, Onwenu, Miller, Mailata, and Williams somewhere. All right, moving on to guard. Also, I just want to make it's a little weird to me that, there's like 3 centers and stuff, but I don't know. I feel like 2 would be enough. But moving on to guard. Joel Bitonio, best guard in football right now. But calm down. I think he's been the best guard in run blocking mainly. Zach Martin and Quentin Nelson are still better to me, but Joel Bitonio has been elite. He's still really, really good. Alex Kappa probably deserves a vote as well. He's been really solid for the Buccaneers this year, so 1 for each there. Let's see. Matt Feiler. Chargers offense went from 0 to hero really quick, and Feiler's definitely been a part of that. He has been fantastic for the Chargers this year, so he definitely deserves a vote as well. That's 2 AFC. Gabe Jackson's been pretty solid for the Seahawks this year. Ali Marpet, he probably deserves a vote as well. That Buccaneers offensive line really good, so that's 2 per each now, again, unless something changes. Zach Martin, just kind of a no-brainer. The best guard in football, just definitely deserves to be in there. So now we have 1 AFC vote left, unless something changes. And, Quentin Nelson, he's not been on the field a bunch this year, but when he is, that dude is still so dominant that he definitely deserves to be here. Now let's take a look at the rest of the list and see if there's anyone we're missing. Sheriff's been pretty good this year. And he's been really good. Is there someone on the NFC that we do want to take out? Honestly, I think I would take I'd take Brandon Sheriff over Alex Kappa. Sorry, Kappa, no offense, but Wyatt Teller definitely needs to be in. Whoever has to be cut because of it, unfortunately, Nelson. Let's see, Nelson, Feeler, and Batonio. Unfortunately, I do have to cut Nelson. As great as he is, he hasn't been on the field a bunch, and Wyatt Teller truly has been amazing this year, so he does have to go in. Trey Smith, another guy, he's just got to be in. I mean, arguably been like the second or third best guard in football this year. As a rookie especially, he's just been fantastic, so we do have to get rid of another AFC guy, and between, who is it? Between Matt Feeler and Joel Batonio, it's really tough because both these guys definitely deserve guard votes, that's really tough because Trey Smith does have to be in. Yeah, I mean, Feeler, who's our other third guard, actually? Because we have Batonio, Feeler, it might be Filer, actually. I don't know if I'm saying that incorrectly, but Batonio, Filer, and Teller. Ooh, yeah, that's really tough. Maybe the best pass blocking guard in the NFL right now. Maybe the best run blocking guard. Ooh, it sucks, but I do have to remove Filer, unfortunately, who, again, has been amazing. I want to emphasize that. Trey Smith has just been so fantastic this year, though. He has to be in there. Laken Tomlinson is very tempting to throw in there. But I don't think he's been better than what? Who do we have? Sheriff, Martin, and Marpet. Yeah, I don't think he's been better than those guys, unfortunately, but he has been really good. Actually, you know what? No, I'm switching out Marpet and giving it to Kappa because I think he really does deserve it. So those are going to be my guards. Moving on to center. We get 6 centers, which is a little strange to me. David Andrew has been great for the Patriots this year. Definitely been a big reason of that success on offense. We'll give it to Kendrick Green for right now. Also been pretty good as a rookie there for that Steelers offensive line. I think he's been a big help. Ben Jones, definitely. And that is going to take up our 3 AFC for right now. Moving on to the NFC, Kelsey and Jensen definitely have to be in. Both have been fantastic this year. Kelsey especially definitely deserves a Pro Bowl vote. And now I'm already noticing a tough decision. Creed Humphrey's in. There's just no way he isn't, and I do have to take it away from Kendrick Green, unfortunately. Creed Humphrey has been probably the best rookie in football this year, and one of the best players, honestly. Creed Humphrey has been insane. So now we do have 1 NFC vote left. Rodney Hudson, maybe going to go to him unless there is someone better on the NFC side of things. And it doesn't look like there's going to be. So NFC, we do have Rodney Hudson making it. Even though he's missed some time, still been great. On the AFC side of things, though, we do have Humphrey, Jones, and Andrews. And between those guys, I mean, Ryan Kelly's been really good. Brandon Linder's been pretty good. Corey Linsley, actually, he does have to be in, unfortunately. So unfortunately, I do have to take off David Andrews. And give it to Linsley, who's been really good for the Chargers this year, still picking up as probably the best center in football. And outside of that, Mitch Morse has been fine. J.C. Treader, yeah, he's been great. Has he been better than Linsley Jones, or Humphrey? No. So that is going to be my centers. So that's going to be the offense done. Moving on to the defense. And moving on to the defense. At defensive end, since the NFL can't use proper terminology nowadays, we do have Myles Garrett as an obvious in here. Myles Garrett, in my opinion, the defensive player of the year. He's been fantastic. Nick Bosa really turning it on these last few weeks. The dude's been elite for the 49ers. Trey Hendrickson also has got to be in. Just been a force for that Bengals defense this year. And then we start discussing, as far as I'm concerned, past that. There's been a lot of other great guys, but, we do kind of have to look at a lot of these guys. Sacks are not the best measurable for, a pass rusher. But those 3 guys definitely in. So we have 2 AFC, 1 NFC. I'm going to give one to Jonathan Greener for right now. He has been really good. Definitely the bright spot of that Texans defense. I think he's going to be a really nice young player going for them going forward. So that's going to be 3 AFC, 1 NFC. Probably going to end up unselecting Greener, unfortunately, but moving on. Burns, I'm also going to give 1-2 for right now. He's also been great, but again, probably a guy that's going to get unselected. So we have 1 NFC vote left, and Emmanuel Ogbah, Has he been better than Greenard? I don't know if he's been quite that good. He has been really good, but I'm going to still give it to Greenard for right now. Let's see. Draymond Jones had a really nice game, but mainly just one game. Jadeveon Clowney's actually been really solid for the Browns this year, just not more solid than these guys. Max Crosby, God, yeah, it's tough, but I do got to give it to Crosby over Greenard. He's, in my opinion, our Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Crosby's been really good this year. Let's look. We still have one NFC vote left, too, by the way. Frank Clark, he's been really good ever since moving back to interior, so I don't know why he's in defensive end. I don't know if he's been so good. He's over the other three guys, though. Bilal Nichols has been really good this year. So I'll give my last NFC vote to him for right now, but we'll see if that sticks. Again, there's a lot of good guys even down here past, below the sack numbers. And no, it looks like that's probably going to be my list. So we got Bilal Nichols. Again, I'd probably give Clark a vote if he was interior. I don't think he deserves over some of these other pass rushers, though. So we do have Bilal Nichols, Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa, Trey Hendrickson, Brian Burns. Moving on to defensive tackle. Jonathan Allen, been one of the best tackles in football this year. Same with Hargrave, same with Simmons. Chris Jones. Yeah, I just mixed up Frank Clark and Chris Jones for some reason. Frank Clark has not been good this year. Chris Jones has been good. So I'm lucky that they have him here. And actually, this might be well, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See, that would actually work out right there because all 6 of these guys, despite being the sack leaders, have also pretty arguably been the best interior players in football this year, especially Hayward and Allen. They've been insane this year. So we might end up having the top 6 guys as my votes for this year. BJ Hill's been really good for the Bengals this year. DeForest Buckner has still been pretty good. Kenny Clark is always a really great player for the Packers on defense there. Vita Vea actually over NFC. Ooh. See, Vita Vea has been great this year. And he's definitely been a bit better than Hargrave recently. Ooh. That's tough. I can't quite give it to Vita Vea. He's been amazing this year. Don't get me wrong. He really has been. It's so close with him and Hargrave. I think I do just end up having to give it to Hargrave, though. But Vita Vea is definitely an honorable mention here. Derek Brown has been good. Osa Odighizuwa as a rookie has been really good. Fletcher Cox has been pretty solid this year for the Eagles. Godchucks has been, it might be Godchow. He's been really good in the run defense. Not as much as a pass rusher, but he has been a very solid run defender. Let's see. I don't think there's really anyone else here. So not really anyone else here that I would consider for the Pro Bowl. There's some other good guys here. Like I just said, we're leaving out a lot of good guys. That's going to be the case with something like this. I really do want to give it to Vita Vea. He has been fantastic. I just don't think he's been quite on the same level as these top 6 guys right here. So, do I give it to him over Hargrave? God, Hargrave was just so great at the beginning of the season, and he's been really good all season. It's really tough. I'm going to stick with Hargrave. I think Vita Vea is going to have plenty of Pro Bowl seasons to come, but I am going to stick with these top 6 guys up here. Moving on to inside linebacker. Denzel Perryman, not a Pro Bowler to me. Devin White, we'll give him one for right now. Roquan Smith, we'll give him one for right now. We'll give Wagner one for right now. We'll give Fatukasi, Foyesade Alakun one. Devondre Campbell's a no-brainer. Devondre Campbell is, for me, pretty easily been the best linebacker in football this year. He's been insane, so he's a must-have. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just realized that's 5 NFC linebackers. So we've already got to take out 2, actually. Unfortunately for me, that is going to be Foyesade and Devin White. 2 great linebackers, but not as good as these 3 this year. So we have NFC, guys. We need 3 AFC, and if there's a better NFC, Demario Davis does have to be in. I'm going to give it to him over Roquan. Demario Davis has done a lot of good things for that Saints defense this year. He definitely has to be in. So still looking for 3 AFC guys though. Micah Parsons is a no-brainer. He's in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation for sure. As a rookie, the dude's playing insane. This is going to be a fantastic player for the Cowboys for years to come. Fred Warner, I'd like to give it to him. I don't think he's been as good as those 3 this year. Same with Shaq Thompson. He has been great. Just don't think he's as good as these 3. For the AFC, Kendricks as well. Been great. And I'm going to give it to him over Wagner, actually, especially these last few weeks. Kendrick has been really good. Wagner's, of course, been great as always, but Kendricks has, I think, made a bit more of an impact, so I will take Kendricks over it. Still looking for 2 AFC linebackers. Nick Bolton's been good in the run game. I'm gonna give one to Darius Leonard. If you know me, I'm not the biggest fan of Leonard. I think he's really overrated in his pass coverage part. But when you have 5 forced fumbles, I think that's pretty easy. I don't think another linebacker here even has 4. So that's definitely a stat to popularize that. And Darius Leonard does deserve to be in pretty much just because of that. With 1 AFC vote left, Kenny Young has been solid for the Broncos since being traded there. Let's see. And that's going to be the end right there. I guess for my AFC linebacker, there's a lot of good NFC linebackers here. I mean, NFC definitely likes their linebackers a bit more. For the AFC, though, I mean, yeah, Nick Bolton, Patrick Queen, and Isaiah Simmons have also been really good here in year 2 as well. But I don't know if they're quite Pro Bowl linebackers this year. Logan Wilson has been really solid for the Bengals. Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to those 3, to be honest. There's not a ton of great AFC linebackers this year. Wilson, Simmons, Queen, Bolton. I think I'm going to give it to Wilson, not Anzalone. To Wilson, that Bengals defense has been very pleasantly surprising this year. And Logan Wilson, definitely one of the reasons why. So I think I'm going to give him my last AFC vote here. So moving on to our outside linebackers, when it does load, TJ Watt, Robert Quinn, Matt Judon, and Harold Landry are all shoo-ins for me. Those guys have been insane this year. Robert Quinn enjoying a really nice year. TJ Watt leading the league in sacks even after missing some time. Matt Judon's been great this year, and Harold Landry has taken a big step up. He was a guy that had a lot of upside. He really seems to have hit on that this year. So those are 4 guys that definitely have to be in. And we already have 3 of our AFC outside linebackers. So Robert Quinn being the first NFC. Golden and Reddick. I'll give 1 to Reddick for right now. I'm not going to give 1 to Golden, though. I think he's a bit more of a stats-bloated player. And I'm going to give the other one to Aziz for right now. Aziz, as a rookie, has been really good for the Giants here. I'm glad for that. He was one of my favorite guys. So let's see. This is going to get really tough. Jalen Phillips, he does deserve 1. Over Landry, Judon, and Watt, though, unfortunately not. So Jalen Phillips has been great. I can't give it to him over those 3, though. Chandler Jones started off really hot. He's had a few solid games since then, but I don't think it's Pro Bowl worthy, really. Let's see. Joey Bosa, he's been, good as per normal this year. I don't think quite on the same level as these 3 guys. Shaq Barrett's been good. Rashawn Gary's really come into his own this season. I kind of want to give it to him over Aziz, but I'm not. I don't think he's been that great. Odafe Oweh, another guy that's been great as a rookie. I mean, I think they've been on a really similar level, but it's just for me, I think the Giants defense is worse than the Ravens. So when you're able to make more of an impact, like a tad bit more of an impact on a much worse defense, in my opinion, I think that makes you a bit more valuable. So I will take Aziz over him. Von Miller started out really hot on the season and unfortunately has super, super cooled down. Alex Highsmith has been solid when he's on the field. Jordan Brooks has had a really nice campaign here this year. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, I feel like he does have to be in, but again, it's just over these 3 guys. And this is where I talk about, they need to fix their terminology, because it's like you're putting a guy like TJ Watt in the same category as JOK, and they're just not the same players. So it's like JOK does deserve a Pro Bowl. Like if he's an AFC linebacker that definitely should be in over some of the guys that I picked, but with the category he's put in, it's just unfortunately he can't make it, even though he definitely does deserve it. So shout out to JOK. Hightower's been fine this year. Other than that, I think those are probably going to be my selections. So we do have Watt, Judon, Landry for AFC, Quinn, Reddick, and Aziz for the NFC. And I already kind of went on my rant about the terminology, but it is pretty stupid, NFL. Come on. Moving on to cornerback. When it loads. Trevon Diggs, this is a guy that I definitely do not defend at all. To me, he's super overrated. Having 9 interceptions does make you Pro Bowl worthy. Similar to like Darius Leonard, I do think he's overrated, but that single stat alone does make you at least that much of a valuable player. He lets up a lot of yards. He's not the elite corner that especially Cowboys fans thinks he is, but he's still worthy of a Pro Bowl for right now until we get the rest of these. J.C. Jackson, in my opinion, has been the second best corner to someone else we'll get to in a little bit, but he's been fantastic this year. Absolutely shut down. He needs to be in here. Amani Arouari has actually been really solid, especially recently for the Lions. I'll give him one for right now, but he's probably going to get it taken away from him, unfortunately. Xavier Howard's not been that good. Kenny Moore's been fantastic, so that's going to be 2 for each conference. Again, Kenny Moore's just been amazing for the Colts this year. Easily the best slot corner in the NFL right now. Byron Murphy, he's been really good, and we'll give it to him for right now. He started off really hot in the season. He's still been good through the rest of the season. So we've got 3 NFC, 2 AFC. See, Jalen Ramsey, he's instantly got to go in over a guy like Howard. He's so good. The only reason he doesn't have more interceptions is because literally nobody throws to him. So, I mean, Ramsey's got to be on here. Same case with Rasul Douglas. The dude just scored 2 touchdowns yesterday. He's insane. He's been great this year for the Packers. Definitely a miss for teams like the Raiders, the Panthers, the Eagles. The dude is a very good corner. And so I think, Cowboys fans are going to hate me for this one. He's got 9 interceptions. I get it. Rasul Douglas has been more impactful to me than Trevon Diggs this year. Anthony Averett's been really solid here, and really in his first year as a starter, playing in the positions of Marlon Humphrey and Jimmy Smith. Not Jimmy Smith, Marcus Peters. Jimmy Smith might be hurt too. I don't know. Averett, we'll give him our 3rd AFC for right now. He'll be our 3rd AFC. And then we immediately run into a conundrum with Pat Surtain, who he's been a little hot and cold, but those weeks where he is hot, Pat Surtain is really good as a rookie. Is he better than Averett, Jackson, and Kenny Moore? Not these two, but I would take Surtain over Averett right now, though. Averett's been great, but Surtain has been really good as a rookie here. Darius Slay needs to be in. Another case where he's just got to be in. And I said Amani would probably get it taken away. Darius Slay's been fantastic for the Eagles this year. Probably the MVP of that defense. He's been really good. Denzel Ward has been really shut down for the Browns this year. And I got to take him over Pat Surtain, sadly. Denzel Ward has been an elite corner. Can you stop picking Averett, please? There we go. All right, moving on. Marshall Lattimore, another guy where he's just got to be in. He's been so great. And even though Rasul Douglas has been great this year and at times, Lattimore's been fantastic all season, so he definitely has to be in. William Jackson III really come on more these last couple weeks. I don't think it's good enough to get him in over Ramsey, Slay, and Lattimore, though. Gilmore also been really good. Again, I just don't think he's been quite as good as these 3 guys. Asante Samuel, he's been really great this year, too. Would I take him over Ward, Moore, or Jackson, though? Probably not. AJ Terrell. God, these NFC corners are really good. AJ Terrell, besides Jalen Ramsey and J.C. Jackson, probably the best corner in football this year. And so, it really does suck to take Darius Slay or Marshawn Lattimore. Oh, that's really tough. I think Lattimore has had a couple players on that defense who's really helped him along. Terrell needs to be on this list. I don't care who I have to take off to get it. Terrell's been amazing for that Falcons defense. He just has no help whatsoever, and he's still been shut down. So I do got to put AJ Terrell in there. Other than that, Kendall Fuller's been solid at times this season. Mike Hilton has been pretty good. Teron Johnson's been solid. Eric Stokes has been good as a rookie. Rashad Fenton's been really good here for the Chiefs. You know, it's kind of like every year they have like a standout corner. In the AFC, is he better than Jackson Moore or Ward? No, but he has been really good. So shout out to Rashad Fenton. Casey Hayward. Ooh, yeah, Casey Hayward has to be in. He's been shut down. I mean, I keep saying that about a lot of guys here. I'd take him over Ward personally right now. That's how good he's been. He's just been amazing, you know, for that Raiders defense. A big part of why that defense started out so hot. Yeah, like he doesn't have any interceptions. You know, the stats aren't anything special, but another guy where nobody throws to him, so that's why he doesn't get picks or anything. Really, really good corner. Looking at the rest of the list, though, Greg Newsom's been really solid as a rookie here. Darius Williams, you know, he's been solid too, just not on that same level as some of these other guys. So corner was definitely one of the toughest ones so far, but we do end up with J.C. Jackson, Kenny Moore, Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, and again, some great corners left off here. A.J. Terrell, and where's he at? Casey Hayward as my selections for corner. Moving on to strong safety, and this is another thing that doesn't make sense. Why do we have 3 strong safeties and 3 free safeties? It just really doesn't make sense to me. But at strong safety, Derwin James, Von Bell, got to be in. They've been great this year. Definitely on another level among safeties. Tyrann Mathieu has just found his way to the ball a lot this year, so I think he also has to be in there as well. So that's 3 guys from the AFC. We'll see if there's any other challenging them. Harrison Smith has still been really good this year. For me, he should be in here. We'll give one to Jordan Poyer for right now. He's been really solid too. We need one more AFC guy. Budda Baker, I mean, or we need one more NFC guy. So yeah, we'll give it to Budda Baker for right now. Not to Jordan Whitehead, to Budda Baker. There we go. It's being a little weird for me right now. All right, moving on. Adrian Phillips. Sorry, he's got to be in. Adrian Phillips has been great. You know, Von Bell's been great, sure, but Adrian Phillips has been fantastic for that Patriots defense this year. Big reason why they've been so good. Let's see, and looks like that's going to do it for the strong safeties. So at strong safety, we end up with Derwin James, Tyrann Mathieu, Harrison Smith, Jordan Poyer, Budda Baker, and Adrian Phillips, except 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, there's an issue here. We got 4 AFC safeties. For me, Jordan Poyer has been the weakest of these so far. And so we're actually going to end up giving that last safety vote. Who did I give it to before? We need one more NFC because we got Smith and Baker. So from the NFC, Jamal Adams does not deserve it, in my opinion. Malcolm Jenkins, no, not really. Eddie Jackson, kind of tough here, actually, for this last strong safety vote. But I don't want to give it to Jamal Adams. I don't think Cameron Curl's been that great either this season to deserve it, really. This is one of the situations where it's tough. You know, you have corner who there's so many guys that deserve this vote, and then for strong safety, I'm just trying to figure out who does deserve this vote, and not because there's too many guys that deserve it. Yeah, I guess I haven't even really talked about Jaron Kearse, but he's definitely a guy that could be in that conversation as well. Yeah, I really just don't want to give it to Jamal Adams because I guess he's obviously like the last big guy here on the NFC, but he's just not been good in coverage, and I want my safety to be able to cover. So, yeah, I'm really having a tough time here, but I guess at the end of the day, I am going to give this, you know, and maybe I'm missing someone here who has been really good this year, but to my knowledge, none of these guys have been like really good or anything. So I think with this last vote, I'm going to give it to We'll give it to Eddie Jackson. He's not had a lot of help on that defense. Khalil Mack's out for the year. Akeem Hicks has been solid, but there's only so much he can do. And Robert Quinn's really been that only other guy on the defense that's been able to help him this year. Eddie Jackson, I think he's still been good. Yeah, he doesn't have the most, stats or anything, not the most picks or fumbles, but he's been a really solid safety this year, especially after the last few down years he had mainly because of who his DC was. But I really don't think Jamal Adams deserves it. And I could give it to a guy, like Cam Curl or Jaron Curse, but I just think Eddie Jackson's been a bit more impactful in that. Moving on to free safety, this should be one I'm having much less difficulty finding 6 guys for. Kevin Byard, to me, has been the best safety in football this year. He's been really, really good for the Titans. Been a very good, impactful player. Xavier McKinney, same thing. He's been great for that Giants defense here in year 2. Really looking like a steal in the second round there out of Alabama last year. Justin Simmons as well, been great for the Broncos this year. Really one of the better safeties in the NFL. Kyle Duggar, also been great. Him and Adrian Phillips have been a really solid duo for the Patriots there. So we do have 3 AFC guys, need 2 more NFC. Javon Holland's sorry. Sorry, Duggar. Javon Holland's been amazing here as a rookie safety. It makes me proud that he was my safety number 1 because this guy has been really good for the Dolphins here as of late. And with still 1 NFC vote remaining, 1, 2, 3. Oh, no. I meant to deselect Kyle Duggar. Yeah, this is really buzzing out for me for some reason. 2 more NFC guys, though. Marcus Williams should be in there. He's been really good for the Saints this year. And Antoine Winfield definitely has to be in there as well. Also been amazing for the Buccaneers. A lot of great players this year. Jesse Bates, I definitely don't think he's been as great as last season. And would I take him over Byard, Simmons, or Holland right now? Personally, and maybe I get a bit of hate for this, I'd say no. He's still a very good safety and very impactful, but I wouldn't take him over those 3 guys this season right now. Only players that really even else I'm thinking about here is probably Jeremy Chin, and over Marcus Williams, Xavier McKinney, or Antoine Winfield. No, so those are going to be my free safeties for this year's Pro Bowl. So that's going to be the defense. Moving on to special teams. Kicker. And for special teams, there's definitely going to be a lot of who's been on the better team this year. Especially, like kicker, for example, kind of a hard thing to do. Justin Tucker is an obvious yes for me. I think he pretty much solidified himself as the best kicker of all time this year. So I mean, he's got to be in there for me. Daniel Carlson just earned himself an extension. He's been really good this year, very accurate. Same case with Nick Folk. Evan McPherson, maybe, as a rookie, which, by the way, we've got 3 AFC guys already, and I wouldn't take him over them. So we need 3 NFC kickers. Jake Elliott's been pretty solid for the Eagles. Same case with Matt Gay. Harrison Butker, I wouldn't take him over these 3 guys right now. Mason Crosby has been so inaccurate this year. It's crazy. I hope he doesn't get a single Pro Bowl vote. Younghoe Ho has been fine this year. I don't think quite as good as last year when I gave him a Pro Bowl vote. Robbie Gould, he's been fine. Ryan Suckup, Jason Sanders, I've been fine this year. Matt Prater has been okay. Myers, he was a really accurate kicker up until the season where he really started missing quite a bit, at least for his standards. Matthew Wright's been really solid for the Jaguars too, but I think, we need 1 more NFC guy. We got Matt Gay, Jake Elliott. I'll give the last NFC vote probably to Ho, I guess. He's been really solid for the Falcons this year. Pretty accurate. So I think that's going to end up being my kickers for this year's Pro Bowl. Moving on to punter. Oh, not punter quite yet. We have long snappers. And I'm going to be honest. I'm not exactly an expert on long snappers. So for me, we're just going to take probably the best long snappers from the best teams. So that's going to be Cardinals, Patriots. Let's think about the 3 best teams on each division or each conference right now. For the NFC, for me, I'd say probably Packers, Cardinals, and Buccaneers right now. So we got Cardinals, Packers, and Buccaneers. And if you don't like me doing this way of things, then whatever. Packers and Buccaneers right here. And then for the AFC side of things, I think you really have probably the Patriots. I don't think the AFC North really has a top 3 team right now. Patriots, Titans, and Chiefs probably. So we got Patriots, Titans, and the Chiefs. So those are going to be my picks for long snapper. I know some of these guys are pretty good, like Trent Sieg. Who am I looking for? Casey Creeder, solid as well. But it's just with this thing like long snapper, it's kind of hard to measure the difference between them. And I just think I'd rather take the winning team's long snappers. It takes every player to make a great team, so we're gonna have that. At punter, kind of a similar case because punter's much harder to measure as well than say like kicker. So I mean, there's a few guys that have to be in, like Michael Dixon, always a solid punter. AJ Cole, been a really good punter. Sam Kosh, either one, should definitely be in. Wisniewski has been really solid this season. Borquez, Hecker, got to be in as well. So that's what, 2 NFC, 3 NFC, 1, 2. So we actually need to take an NFC out. And these guys are really good. Borquez, Hecker's got to be in. Borquez has been pretty solid for the Packers this year, but he's been a little inconsistent, to be honest. Well, no, he's not been inconsistent. I don't know what I'm saying. He's really not been that inconsistent. He's been good. Yeah, it's tough because I feel like these 3's got to be in, but I think I would take these 2 over Wisniewski. So we'll keep Dixon in there, and then we need one more AFC guy. Does Brett Kern? I don't know if Brett Kern deserves it. He was the best punter in my opinion up until recently, last season he was the best punter. I'm gonna give the last one to Presley Harvin. He's a guy that actually has been a little inconsistent at times, but still been a very good punter for the most part for the Steelers, and I think he deserves a Pro Bowl vote. So those are going to be my punters. Oh, so exciting. Return specialists for these teams. A few guys that just pretty much have to go in automatically for me. Andre Roberts, Ray McLeod, Deontay Harris, Cordell Patterson. Actually, I'm going to give Jakeem Grant, because especially, considering last night, he's also been really good. So we have, I don't know why he keeps misclicking. God, what is going on? Okay, there we go. So those 5 guys, and then who's the other guy that's Gunnar Olszewski. Actually, Nwangwu needs to be in because how many I need to check how many we have of each conference. So we have NFC, AFC, NFC, AFC. So we have, let's see. Well, Nwangwu needs to be in. So if we're going to replace an AFC guy, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Wait. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, actually, I guess we don't have. We have an even amount right now, actually. So we're gonna have to replace an NFC guy, and that's gonna be probably Cordell Patterson's still been good though. Yeah, I guess we're gonna take out Cordell Patterson. He's not been that much of a kick returner this year because he has been such a good running back. So we're gonna put Nwangwu in there. He's been really good. I mean, the fact that in two of his 10 attempts he scored a touchdown, that's pretty crazy actually. So Nwangwu is gonna go in there. Waddle has been solid as well. Do I take him over Gunnar? Gunnar, Ray, or Andre though? Probably not. So what? We got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so that's going to be my kick specialist return specialist, and then special teams. Another one that's sort of hard to measure, but there are a few guys, that are pretty obvious guys. Where am I looking? Where is he at? Unless I don't have him. I'm forgetting his name right now for some reason, but if I saw it, I would knew it, but Matthew Slater. Matthew Slater's been pretty good for the Patriots this year on a special teams plays and stuff. Outside of that, though, not really anyone specific that I point to and go oh yeah, that guy's good on special teams. So, with Patriots already being one of the best teams, we're just going to kind of do the same thing we did with the long snappers. So, Titans. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3. Just looking for the best teams here. 4, 5, and 6. So yeah, and then I guess with the special teams players, that's gonna actually narrow a list out. So yeah, I mean, hold on, did I see a 5 there? I did see a 5. Long snappers, we only have 5 selected. Hold up. Yeah, I don't know why this thing was being so weird and glitchy for me today, but we need to go to long snappers. Who didn't get selected? Let's see. I was thinking 119 was kind of a weird thing because, even numbers and all. Let's see who we didn't end up clicking because the site's being weird and slow now instead. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. Okay, I guess we didn't click the Chiefs one, but that is going to round our list out, you guys. So I don't really want to go back over every single position. I'll just kind of scroll through here, and you can kind of make it out for yourself if you want. But those are going to be my Pro Bowl selections for the 2022 Pro Bowl. Of course, we're going to disagree on a lot of different players here. There's a lot of good players at certain positions that deserve to be in, but sometimes it was just because there were better players. Sometimes it's because the NFL's positional terminology kind of sucks. But those are going to be my Pro Bowl votes. So I'm going to submit this ballot. And, well, I got to log in. But I'll do that after the video. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. We've got a lot of cool content coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.